Welcome to the Hacker Hunter tier list. I'm going to list these in order of greatness from S all the way down to P. Let's get into it. Boom. Done. Today's video is a little bit different to things we've usually done on this channel, but I know for a fact you guys are going to love it. Well, some of you may not, but that might be because you're in it. You might be wondering what today's video is about. Well, today we are going to be doing a Hacker Hunter tier list. So let's crack on with the video. So this is the tier list, guys. If you've made it onto this, then you are what I would call a hacker hunter. Well, for the most part anyway. People who are willing to expose things that not many people want to talk about or that not many people want to believe. So we have a list. On there is myself, AOI, Boss and Daily, Call of Shame, Dimmy, Goon Squad, Gustav Spielt, Headband, Hoppin' Dude, Happer, Loaded, Chatch, Puddin', Rage Against My Machine, Rara, Sergeant Stressful, Sleash, we've got Tonezilla, we've got Tino, we've got Ustra, and we've actually got Why So Serious on there as well. So there are 20 names on the board, and we're going to list them from tier S all the way down to tier P. So quite simply, we're going to start from the first image here, which is AOI. Very new on the scene, somebody who has great editing ability. The music's great, the video quality's great, definitely got experience with gameplay editing as well. Where does he lie when it comes to exposing cheaters? Has this guy ever exposed cheaters? Not really. He's, talked shit about some people. He's put gameplay out here and there. He's definitely debunked a couple of things along the way. So I wouldn't put him in the S tier. I wouldn't put him in the A tier either, but that's only because of how new he is on the scene. So he's got a lot of potential to maybe move forward and get himself up the ranks there. But again, hey, it's just my opinion. Chill out. So AOI, we're going to be putting you in B tier. Unlucky! I'm next up on the list, okay? Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush here, guys. I am in the S category, simply because without blowing my own trumpet, I have exposed a lot of cheaters. I've explained to many millions of viewers along the last 2 years about how cheats work and what to look out for, and I've continued to add pressure onto multiple people to the point where they've either apologized to the community, deleted all old streams, moved to a different game, and so on. There is a track record there. That's why I've put myself in the S category. Next up, we have Boss and Daily, okay? Boss and Daily is somebody who came onto the scene quite early on, and at first I thought it was great. Maybe this guy's gonna actually put a little bit of effort into the videos and it would grow. It would grow the Hacker Hunter space. It would actually give another voice to be heard when it comes to exposing cheaters. However, I found out quite quickly that Boss and Daily was just literally ripping old videos down from myself and a couple of others, re-uploading them and doing a voiceover without any form of editing other than doing a voiceover, repeating things that I was saying in my video while he had my video muted. So for that reason, Boss and Daily goes in the D category. He didn't really put much time and effort into things. He was just re-uploading other people's videos with bare minimum effort. So he goes into the D category. Next up, we've got Call of Shame. Call of Shame, again, is quite new onto the scene, similar to AOI. Now with Call of Shame, they've actually set themselves up a website where people can go onto that site and send footage in, whether that be a link to a clip or a VOD. They can send it in for the person behind Call of Shame to view, analyze, and decide whether or not it's suspicious. This allows them to actually create more content than somebody who's doing all that work themselves. So hats off for great thinking, and it is great business sense to delegate the work to your community. I think it's brilliant to get them involved as well. The question is, have they actually exposed anybody to the point where the person they've made a video about has publicly apologized? I don't think so. I don't think they've actually ever caught anybody red-handed, but what they have done is definitely shed light on numerous different streamers who hadn't already been brought up prior to them coming onto the scene, which I genuinely believe is great because they're adding light onto other streamers who could quite well be cheating as well. So for that reason, I'm going to put Call of Shame in the A category, okay? They've got a lot of potential, and I think that eventually one of the people that they're accusing in those videos could quite well come out and apologise and admit to their wrongdoings. And that isn't just meant in the sense of them throwing mud at the wall and hoping it sticks at all. I genuinely believe that they're onto something. When you watch their videos, you don't think, what am I watching? There's nothing sus here. you can see things that are suspicious, so hopefully that actually leads to something in the future. Next up, we've got Dimmy. Dimmy actually came around quite a while ago, actually around a year ago, maybe a little bit shorter than that. The videos weren't the best, honestly. In my opinion, they weren't the best. A lot of old clips being used of streamers that people had already seen on multiple different channels at this point. So was Dimmy adding something to the mix? Were they bringing something to the table? Or were they just reiterating things that others had already spoken about over the year before they got involved? I'd say that they were more interested in reiterating things, maybe in hope that their videos gained a little bit of traction. Maybe they have bigger plans, who knows? Maybe in the future we might see more from Dimmy. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and say that Dimmy is probably going to go into tier C. Okay? It's not too bad. It's not like you're in the boss and daily D category there. Next up, we've got Goon Squad. Goon Squad, I believe, are doing something brilliant. They actually brought something new to the table. They started using a crosshair placement on their monitor to show where the aim was sticking, whether that be through a wall, and showing that it was literally locking on to locations on enemies. Now, this hasn't actually caused any streamer to come out and be like, you got me, okay, fair enough, your crosshair on your screen has caught me cheating, I admit to it. However, the method that they use with the crosshair, I believe, is fantastic and definitely highlights a hell of a lot more than just looking at the gameplay as standard. But there is one negative thing. Well, it's not really negative, but this is something that I find that is slightly negative about Goon Squad, and that is that they are, well, too nice. The pair of them are just too nice. They don't want to really piss anyone off. And I believe if you're in the space of exposing people for cheating or questioning people's gameplay, you better believe you're going to piss people off. And you better be willing to accept that as part of the package. You can't expect to expose people for their cheating gameplay and then expect people to still be nice. I know you guys are really nice people, I can tell, but sometimes you've just got to make those tough decisions. I think Goon Squad are onto something with their method. I think their attitude is great, honestly, but sometimes just a little bit too nice. For that reason, I'm going to put Goon Squad in category B. With AOI, again, much potential. We've got somebody here who many of you at this point in time probably don't remember. Gustav Spielt. Okay, Gustav come onto the scene very early on, around 3 or 4 months after I started the Streamers Cheating video series. And Gustav seemed to be onto something as well. He had a little bit of humour in his videos, but he definitely pointed out some suspicion in a lot of top streamers' gameplays. However, it would appear that he was only willing to focus on the top streamers and never really actually caught anybody in the mix. But some of his breakdowns were fantastic to see, and I believe Gustav actually used cheats himself to show people exactly what to look for. So again, bringing that to the mix, which was something I did as well. So Gustav was somebody who brought a great breakdown to the scene, but not really exposing anybody. And the fact that he kind of disappeared out of thin air and doesn't upload anymore kind of says that maybe it just wasn't for him. For that reason, I'm actually going to put Gustav in category C alongside Dimmy. I believe if he'd continued on and was still going to this point in time, he might have been a little bit higher up in my opinion. Next, we've got Headband. Dun dun dun. Where does Headband fit on this Hacker Hunter list? Some may say that he doesn't belong on the list. Some may say that he should be on a hacker list. Alright, no more drama. That's enough. Okay, so Headband came onto the scene again pretty early. The way in which he broke into the scene was fantastic because he decided to sit down and break down 2 different people's opinions and breakdowns of the same streamer's gameplay. Yeah, you following me? So there was a streamer called Dab's Car. I done a breakdown of his gameplay explaining everything. Rara did a breakdown of his gameplay explaining everything. Headband then done a breakdown of both of our breakdowns explaining Dab Car's gameplay. And it was great to see. He basically just reacted and gave his opinion on it. And that's how he sort of broke into the scene. Many people wanted to watch the video, and then from then on, he decided to just continue with what he was doing, reacting to people's gameplay, but in the sense that he was sussing them out. And for a long time, he has pretty much been on the balls of some of these top streamers. Has he caught anybody? No. Has he broke down some very suspicious gameplay? Yes. but also at certain points in time, he has been known for, I would say, lazy footage. I would say that he has gone out of his way to find old videos from myself and other people, and that is something that me and Headband's spoken about in the past. That is all in the past now. But for Headband's content, I'm going to say that he is probably one of the biggest names in the hacker hunter space at the moment, and a lot of people are talking about him, many for the wrong reasons of course, but again, that's all due to come out at some point in the future, whether he is or isn't cheating. But Headband is definitely up towards the top. I would say the Headband is probably in the... where do I put him? And do you know what? I'm going to put him in the B category, okay? The reason I'm putting him in the B category is simple, is that he's never fully exposed anybody. He's never made anybody apologise. He's never had anybody banned. He's never actually contacted a platform about somebody and had them work their way through getting them removed from the platform. Nothing. But his videos are great. I do believe that some of his breakdowns are great as well. Some not so much, but others definitely great. And that is why he's there. And again, he's only very early on in his YouTube space, so there is plenty of room for growth for Headband. Next up, we've got Hoppin' Dude. Now, Hoppin' Dude doesn't upload that often. Not at all. Hoppin' Dude, in fact, well, he didn't even want to get into this hacker hunter scene. He basically messaged me one day like, listen, like, I've got a diploma in IT. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but he had a diploma in IT. And he was like, I can do stuff that sort of you can't. Do you want me to? I was like, do it, make a video, I'll share it, and we'll see how it goes. And he'd done quite a few videos from that point forward, and they all seem very technical. Is his video editing the best? Certainly not. The information you receive from Hoppin' Dude's videos is in fact next level, because he talks in science and mathematics, arithmetics, or math as they call it in America. So it's great to see somebody bringing a scientific approach to the table. Hoppin' Dude's videos, very rare of course, but when they do come out, and they are sometimes long-winded, with a hint of comedy in there, that more recent one with the news reporter, but his breakdowns are fantastic. If you just listen to the information he gives you, I would suggest watching him in like 1.5 speed. That's what I do. And the information's great. So he's giving out information which helps massively towards determining if somebody is or isn't cheating. So for that reason, just based on the information in his video, which essentially it's what it's all about, isn't it? Exposing. I'm going to put Hoppin' Dude up at the top in the S tier. Now this next one is, well, this is a story and a half. It's Happy. It's Happy, right? We started out as opposites. I was exposing cheaters. It's Happy was a cheating streamer. I caught him. Somebody sent me a clip of Happy's stream and I was like, boom, this guy is 100% cheating. And to be honest, at that stage in time, not many people probably would have noticed. Although real gamers would have, but casual gamers probably would have just thought this guy is cracked out of his mind. Which means at that point in time, there was a high possibility that It's Happy probably could have gained massively from it. Did he? Probably not. Either way, I exposed him. I put out multiple videos. There was a couple of back and forths. One day, Happy reaches out. Listen, you got me. I apologise, and I think what you're doing is great, etc, etc. We had a back and forth. I'm not going to discuss the ins and outs of the messages, but essentially, I told him he should use his knowledge and take that with him into exposing other people who were trying to do what he did. And that's exactly what he did. It's Happy has exposed individual streamers to the point where it is undeniable, to the point where there is 100% proof of them being in cheat Discord servers, where he's actually had them removed off the platform they're streaming from. And he's also exposed cheat Discord servers as well, which means hundreds if not thousands of members of those Discord servers exposed. So It's Happy, although his videos aren't about top name streamers all the time, occasionally they are, he has exposed more streamers, he has exposed more cheaters than many of these on the list. So for that reason, It's Happy goes up at the top here in the S tier. But if he ever falls back into the cheating ways, I'm sure you'll see him on a different list on a different day. And next up we've got Loaded Chat. Loaded Chat's quite new on the scene, still learning the ropes when it comes to editing with YouTube. And that's understandable because not many people are fully aware of how to edit or record in the right manner and so on. So you have to give people that little bit of time to sort of adjust to what they're doing. And I think that gradually his videos are getting better. I believe that the information he's putting out is getting better, but sometimes he can be wrong. But he will reach out and ask for opinions as well. Because if he thinks there is a chance it's wrong, he definitely wants a second opinion. Rather than putting it out claiming it to be 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 1,000,000% fact, he asks people for a second opinion who he believes have the knowledge to give that. And I think that's great. I think Loaded Chat has still got a long way to go, and I think it might be a little bit of a bumpy road for him, but still potential is there for Loaded Chat. I'm going to put Loaded Chat in the B tier here. Oh, next up, we've got Puddin. Right, Puddin is something that I'm just say it. He's one of my favourites. I think that Puddin's videos themselves are like mini movies, okay? Has he exposed anybody fully? No, I don't think he has. He's definitely exposed some things about certain people. Something that was a completely different approach to what everybody else was doing, by the way. So I was analysing gameplay. Everybody else pretty much came into the scene, analysing gameplay, breaking it down, slowing it down, zooming it in, adding a crosshair, all different methods just to analyse gameplay. Puddin wanted to analyse behaviours and mannerisms and lies and deceit and smoke and mirrors, and he'd done that very well. He proved that a lot of these streamers were in fact beating around the bush. When it came to answering a very straightforward question, he had me hooked from the very first video I watched of his. There have been somewhere I've not really understood little bits of them, but many others where the information that's being put across in amongst them memes and, you know, parts from films, I think are great, by the way. I believe that the information he's putting across definitely shone a light on something new. They weren't just cheating in the game. They were masters at lying, they were masters at deceiving, and for me, I very first saw that in detail when Puddin started uploading. So no, he hasn't actually made anybody apologise to their community. No, he hasn't actually gone out of his way and proven with 100% proof that somebody is cheating. But you bet your ass that Puddin has made some of these guys look a hell of a lot worse because of their lies. So for that reason, and for the way in which he's come onto the scene with a whole new approach at the time he did, I'm going to put Puddin up here in the S list. Now we've got the next guy here, Rage Against My Machine, somebody whose videos I thought were okay at the start. Okay, there was one or two which I thought this is okay, I understand that, but he had more of a storytelling approach to it. I don't really think he was in it to expose, more meme and joke about things, but the way in which he done his videos at the start were good. As time went on, things got a little bit lazy from him, and I felt like the real mission there stopped. I don't think that he was in it for exposing cheaters. Maybe he was, and maybe that's just me misinterpreting it. But more recently, things have got a little bit different with Rage Against My Machine. He's one of a few people who are kind of stirring the pot in amongst the hacker hunter scene. And I didn't like what I saw recently, but again, Rage Against My Machine was still accusing streamers of cheating. Only one of the streamers he accused of cheating was Headband, and it was actually proven that Rage Against My Machine had edited audio out of the footage. All credibility at that point is lost. 100% proof the audio was missing due to him editing it out. That was based on AOI's breakdown and Headband actually proving that he didn't add any, it all went off. So for that reason, Rage is in this D category here alongside Bossin Daily, copy and paste artist. Next up, we've got the Rara. So Rara's come onto the scene after, well, drama. Along the last year and a half or so, there's been drama, not from my side, but definitely from Rara's side, where he was making multiple videos trying to claim that I was lying and that I wasn't telling the truth about Zed Lena. It turns out anyway, Rara's decided to come into the hacker hunter scene by basically exposing methods of cheating, methods that not many people knew about, methods that could actually lead to many top streamers being caught cheating. He exposed the use of gyro in DS4 Windows. He's also gone ahead and exposed a full Discord server for people using a software that breaks skill-based matchmaking through the use of a VPN. So I would say that his expose on both of those was actually good. It was great information. It was information that none of us had at the time. So yes, he does deserve a place towards the top for that. But more recently, many people believe that Rara is an imposter. Many people believe he's there to protect and defend top streamers, one of them being Zedlaner, and it would appear that that is in fact exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to debunk every clip that's ever been put out of Zedlaner. So, is he a hacker hunter? Or is he a hacker hunter? Either way, at this moment in time, Rara hasn't really done anything to say that he is actually an imposter. Although it does look that way at times, he has still come into the scene, exposed a full cheating method that many top streamers could quite well be using through their DS4 software, as well as exposing a whole Discord server full of people using a VPN to break the skill-based matchmaking, so he deserves a place towards the top. And this is killing me to do this, honestly, because I'm sure at some point or other there is going to be a time, if he continues on the road he's going, that he might end up in this D category down here. But for now, with the fact he's done exposes legitimately and actually exposed something, hey, he deserves a place at the top in the S category. Oh. Now we've got Sergeant Stressful here. Now this is something that I wanted to really bring up because Sarge, right, he tries claiming that he's not a part of the hacker hunter scene, but this man has expressed his opinion on people's gameplay and broke it down. I think Sarge is a little bit of an undercover hacker hunter, wouldn't you say? Either way, he's never really fully exposed anybody. He does meme and joke a lot, so we'll put him... Oh, where can we put Sarge? I know, we'll put him in the P category. And that P category I created myself simply for Sarge, because he is phenomenal. And that is it. That's what the P stands. Now we've got Sliash. Sliash comes onto the scene over on Twitter. That's where I first spotted them. I had a look at a couple of the videos and I thought, you know what? They're coming onto the scene very late time. Maybe a couple of different games here and there. That could be good. Maybe they've got some potential. But for now, I haven't seen much of Sliash. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from them. Hopefully, they bring us some great exposed videos in the future. But for now, I'm going to have to put Sliash in the C category. That's based on the fact that I don't know much about them or what they've actually brought to the table. I don't understand their approach, but there is still something there at the moment. Maybe they're a late bloomer, maybe they're going to be coming into the scene hot and heavy over the next few months, maybe year. We'll keep an eye on it. Now next up on the list is Tonezilla. Tonezilla has come onto the scene accusing somebody of cheating, but they're not accusing someone who has been accused by myself or anybody else on this list. They decided to go after somebody who nobody had ever pointed the finger at, called IQ. IQ's gameplay is suspicious. Some of the locks on that aim is just ridiculous. In my opinion, there's no way it's natural aim assist. But Tonezilla shed some light on this, and I do believe he's got a long way to go with the way in which he breaks down the gameplay, but the fact that he's willing to shed light on new streamers who he believes are cheating, rather than just sort of living in the shadows and trying to expose cheaters whose names have already been brought up multiple times since Warzone's release. He's decided to go after somebody else, and it appears that he's found a lot of clips that are suspicious against IQ. So I'm looking forward to where Tonezilla goes, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing IQ either debunked or fully exposed in the future. For now, I'm going to put Tonezilla in category B. Now next on the list is someone very interesting. They've literally just broke into the hacker hunter space. It seemed very personal from Tino. Tino was a fan of Capture. Capture is a Twitch TV streamer, and Tino found something highly suspicious about Capture's gameplay. He was a very big supporter and donator of Capture, but then he decided to start making videos because he believes Capture is using wall hacks. I do believe Tino got slightly caught up on one individual thing from Capture's gameplay, and that caused people to have a little bit of doubt in Tino, but after a little bit of a discussion here and there with different people and taking on some advice, he was willing to listen and learn, and out of doing that, he was able to go ahead and find more suspicion in Capture's gameplay that didn't involve that one moment with the possible blood or wall hacks showing on Prison Roof. I'm sure we all know what that is. I'm sure you've all seen it, but Tino is still more than happy to continue the search into Capture's gameplay. Whether or not Tino ends up going ahead and trying to catch more hackers, we don't know. But for now, to see the search between him and Capture is great. And for that reason, I'm going to put Tino in category C. And I think that that's a great spot for him there because he's got a lot of potential. You can tell that he's willing to put the effort in and find the clips. And I also think that maybe he might be onto something with Capture as well. Next up, we've got Ustra OG, who was once known as Northus. Northus was a streamer, streamed Blackout, multiple other games as well, and disappeared off the scene for a short while. They tried to expose somebody when they were Northus. They exposed somebody for using a strike pack on Blackout, quickly took the video down about 2 days later and apologised to the person. That was the last we saw of Northus trying to expose people for cheating. However, he then recreated himself. He'd come out on another YouTube channel called Ustra OG, putting out multiple videos, and it did feel at times that he was just putting anything he could into a video to make a video. But there were other times where he found some good stuff. So for that reason, I think Ustra OG deserves a space sort of, I'd say in the C category, okay? Not too high up, not too low down really. So I do think that that right there is a great place for him. Who knows what the future holds for Ustra or Northus? And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. We've got one more remaining now. And this is something that doesn't really fit into the hacker hunter scene, but the information that came from this guy was brilliant, to the point where I believe the information that Why So Serious actually put out almost 2 years ago now, it could actually be the be all and end all of everything we've been discussing since Warzone come out. Why So Serious done a live stream talking about an Activision patent. This patent had so much information in it, and Why So Serious decided to sit there on stream going through it all and literally breaking things down piece by piece. This involved about hit reg, it involved about skill-based matchmaking, it involved about aim assist, everything you can think of. There was so much information in that patent which was, well, corrupt to a fair gaming experience, that the information being put out was quickly met by people hating on it, claiming that it wasn't anything to do with online gaming. However, everything he spoke about in that patent, I also covered this as well, but I believe he put it out a couple of days before me. But everything that he covered in that patent, well, not everything, but a lot of things that are happening now that people are talking about, he spoke about 2 years ago. So people talking about aim assist values being different on different accounts. If you create a second account, then your aim assist values will be different, stronger, weaker, recoil pattern different, higher, lower, right? Everything like this was mentioned by Why So Serious way back in the day. So for that reason, Why So Serious is getting a seat there in the A category, mainly because they're not really a hacker hunter, but the information they provided was great. But that was sort of it. That was pretty much it. They held on to the patent for a long time, continued to talk about it and break it down in multiple other videos, but the information was on point. So there's my tier list. How many of those do you think are going to be pissed off? And how many of them do you think will be happy? What do you guys think of my tier list? Let me know in the comments below. So there we have it, guys. That's my tier list. If any of you guys want to go out of your way and do your own, feel free. I would love to hear your thoughts about mine in the comments below, as I've mentioned. And if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. If you want to support this channel further, hit that blue join button today and become a member of the Triple B fam. Don't forget to come and follow me on Twitter at badboybeaman. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!